Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board. Tonight on agenda, we have Pakistan-US ties and the way forward, especially amid a transforming situation in the region under the Taliban rule, in particular in Afghanistan. And here on board, I am joined by none other than United States Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman, who's here in Islamabad on her maiden visit after being sworn in. Thank you, Ms. Sherman. It's indeed a pleasure. I'm honored to interview you for Pakistan Television exclusively, and I'm grateful that you have taken out time despite your hectic schedule here.
Thank you very much, Mona. I want to start, even before we get to your questions, to express condolences on my personal behalf, but the behalf of my country, for the families of the 20 people whose lives were lost in the earthquake, and all of the families that are suffering from people that have been injured. Whenever these things happen in the world, it really is heart-wrenching for all of us, and I hope that there can be a swift recovery, and just wanted to pass on our condolences and our sympathy.
I'm very honored, and it means a lot. So your expression of solidarity to earthquake victims there in Balochistan, it indeed means a lot. Thank you so much to begin on this note, and rightly so. So, Ms. Sherman, to begin with, our agenda. Secretary Blinken has recently spoken about ties in the US, and since you've just been to India, I've also heard you state that at this point in time, you do not see a broadening of relationship between Pakistan and US. Is there a major realignment in the offing, and how do you see things moving forward? Because there are certain members of the power corridor there in the US who are kind of blaming Pakistan for the situation in Afghanistan.
You know, the interesting part of all of this is that the United States and Pakistan have had a long-standing relationship for decades. So the purpose of this particular trip was around the issues predominantly of the aftermath of Afghanistan. So that's what I meant about specific steps. And it was also, of course, to review where we are in our bilateral relationship and where we can work together to improve many things, not only in our bilateral relationship, but in the world together. But I think, as you pointed out, this is a time of great change in the region because of events in Afghanistan. And so I think we are all reassessing what is going to happen, how we all should respond, what the future will look like, and how to ensure that no country is a safe haven for terrorists, that the people of Afghanistan have a good future ahead of them.
Indeed, this is what they deserve. And Ms. Sherman, since Foreign Minister Qureshi met for Secretary Blinken along sidelines of UNGA, and this happens to be the highest level of diplomatic interaction between the two countries ever since President Biden has come in. I want to learn from you. Are there prerequisites placed on Afghanistan? Because Prime Minister Khan has often spoken about a necessary engagement that there must be from the US for Afghanistan, and also a probable humanitarian crisis that may emerge there in Afghanistan. So given all the apprehensions, what kind of engagement may we expect from the US for Afghanistan, and would they be conditioned to certain prerequisites?
Well, I think you know the answer to that because Secretary Blinken had a meeting with Foreign Minister Qureshi. The Secretary then said to me, please, on your next travel, go to Pakistan, that we wanted to engage and talk about the wide-ranging agenda we have, and also about the aftermath of these events in Afghanistan. We're glad that Pakistan has called for an inclusive government in Afghanistan, and that things should move forward in a way that create a better life for the Afghan people. And in terms of humanitarian assistance, we are absolutely agreed on that point. We want to make sure that the people of Afghanistan do not suffer. And the United States, in fact, has not only provided humanitarian assistance, but we have issued what is called a general license, so that humanitarian workers through UN agencies, through INGOs, NGOs, can provide food and medicine and help to the Afghan people without worrying about US sanctions. So I think the world completely agrees that humanitarian assistance is necessary, and we're very grateful that Pakistan feels the same way and has provided such assistance already to Afghanistan.
That's indeed heartening to know that the humanitarian crisis is a great matter of concern for the US. Moving forward, since US has now come up with a Quad alliance and India happens to be a part of it, it was also believed that US wants to prop up India against China as a regional competitor here. I want to know, in case of Pakistan-US relationships, do you think it may kind of distort the balance between Pakistan and USA, given the propping up of India that we may have seen as a consequence of the Quad alliance?
Well, the Quad is what I think you were talking about,
yes.
If I understand you. The Quad is a cooperative effort to work on things like energy and people-to-people exchanges and infrastructure and supply chain resilience. And it is one vehicle. We have a strong bilateral relationship with Pakistan. As I said, it's decades long in the making. And where China is concerned, as I've said to those I've met with here, we don't ask countries to choose between the United States and China. American companies invest in China. China invests in the United States. So China is a very large economy and a growing world power. What we do ask is that China play by the rules-based international order. And we urge countries to insist that China do so, so that everybody has a level playing field. We are happy to compete with anyone going forward. We just want to make sure there's a level playing field, and I hope that Pakistan, and I think Pakistan, believes that as well. Indeed, that rules-based international order has helped countries like China and Pakistan to develop because it has created a system in which everyone can rise.
Fair enough. Ms. Chairman, since you've just met the National Security Advisor here in Pakistan as well as the Foreign Minister, and you've emphasized twice about the deep relationship enjoyed by Pakistan and the USA. I want to know, do we see that going forward under the Biden administration? And also in the same continuity, how have your meetings been here in Pakistan?
My meetings have been excellent here in Pakistan. I had a very long and detailed dinner with the National Security Advisor. I had a very substantive and productive meeting with Foreign Minister. I will see General Bajwa over dinner this evening. And I also had an extraordinary opportunity to visit the UNHCR Drive Center, where smart cards are being produced for Afghan refugees and refugees in general, so that in fact they can get health services, their children can enroll in schools, and they can operate here in Pakistan. It's an extraordinary system, and Pakistan should be very proud of 42 years of helping Afghan refugees. And the United States is not only grateful, but the world is grateful for what Pakistan has done.
That indeed means a lot. Moving forward, since USA is helping Pakistan actively in its COVID vaccination program, and President Biden is a huge advocate, rightly so, across the globe of vaccination programs, will we see further enhancing of socio-economic terms between the two countries and also on trade levels? And this may also help us strike a balance between a relationship which is an economic one rather than a strategic alliance.
I think economics is important for all of us because after COVID, everyone needs to, as the president says, build back better. The world has changed. Economics have changed. Where the high-value jobs will be in the future have changed. We have COP26 coming up, which is to deal with the climate crisis. We are very commend Pakistan for making commitments around renewable energy, for Prime Minister Khan saying that there will be no new coal plants. We hope that Pakistan will make a new nationally determined commitment in this regard in front of contribution in front of COP26 that is bold and helps us move forward to getting net zero in our lifetimes.
As well as Kashmir, because you've been to India just now, Ms. Sherman, I'd like to know, since Kashmir still remains the flashpoint between the hostile neighborhood that India and Pakistan is, and the two nuclear-armed nations, I mean, they've had huge wars on this particular issue itself. Former President Donald Trump has also spoken about mediation in this regard. I'd like to learn from you, would we see some kind of reconciliatory efforts under the Biden administration, particularly between India and Pakistan, since of course this remains a flashpoint in the region and is a matter of great concern for peace and stability?
Understand the concern, and this has been a long-standing and complex historical issue, but this is indeed something between India and Pakistan, and the United States has, for a long time, urged dialogue between the parties.
Wonderful. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Ms. Sherman. I'm extremely grateful for your time. It's been an insightful talk, and I wish you a joyous stay here, a pleasant, safe travels, as well as I hope that your visit here in Pakistan should prove fruitful for the cooperation in two countries and also furthering the greater vision of peace and stability. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Mona. And I must note that you're wearing the pink ribbon for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it says how interconnected we are in the world. I should have a pink ribbon on today as well. I would if I were in the United States. I should have thought to do it here in Pakistan. We are all more connected than we are unconnected as we face issues that confront all of us.
I'm indeed overwhelmed by your words. Thank you so much, Ms. Sherman. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and meeting you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was Ms. Sherman, United States Deputy Secretary of State here in Pakistan on her maiden visit after being sworn in, and this was our exclusive interaction for Pakistan Television.